Hey guys, Brett from Kitchen Table Commander here. I know the Guilds of Ravnica pre-release was a little while ago, but boy was it a blast. This video will focus on the second event I played in, Two-Headed Giant. My partner and I opened 12 packs of Guilds of Ravnica and combined them to build two very synergistic decks. One was Dimir Surveil and the other was Boros Mentor Aggro. I'm going to cover mostly the Dimir deck I played, but I'll give you some of the highlights from the Boros deck my partner built. Anyway, let's get into it. Being Dimir, the removal was a bit more plentiful than the previous day. Dead Weight and Dazzling Lights in the 1-drop slot, Dead Weight to kill a small creature or reduce power and toughness on a larger creature, Dazzling Lights to reduce the damage from attacking creature, and obviously for Surveil too. 2-drops include Enhanced Surveillance and Unexplained Disappearance. The Surveillance for, well, Surveil. The added ability to exile it to prevent you from decking yourself is also nice if the game goes long, but wasn't something I had to use. Unexplained Disappearance to bounce a creature and for its Surveil. For 3-drops we have Disinformation Campaign, Mnemonic Betrayal, and Notion Rain. The campaign to repeatedly draw cards and force your opponents to discard, given how much Surveil we have. The Betrayal to stop decks from abusing the graveyard with the main goal of being able to cast anything in that yard yourself. Notion Rain to fix the top of your library and draw those cards. It may deal 2 damage to you, but it's usually not a big deal. We go hard in the 4-drop slot with Artful Takedown, Chemist's Insight, Creeping Chill, and Price of Fame. The Takedown gives you options, but a lot of the time you'll be using both modes. The Insight draws you 2 cards at instant speed, and then you can do it again with Jumpstart. Creeping Chill to deal 3 damage either by casting it or by binning it with Surveil. Price of Fame to destroy a creature, preferably a legendary creature, and also for the Surveil too. We only have one 5-drop, and that's Deadly Visit, essentially a second copy of Price of Fame. Our creature curve was pretty low, topping out at 4 mana. I'll start with the 1-drops obviously, which includes Barrier of Bones and Hired Poisoner. The Barrier is an early Surveil trigger and a large body for a small cost. The Poisoner gives us a Death Touch for 1 mana, which should encourage your opponents to either hold back attacks or use up good removal. 2-drops gives us Child of Night and Passwall Adept. Child as a nice life linker, and the Adept is a good way of giving creatures unblockable, primarily for my partner's creatures, which I'll get to. 3-drops include Blood Operative, Dark Blade Agent, Midnight Reaper, and Whisper Agent. Blood Operative to exile anything from a graveyard if your opponent is running Recursion or using Jumpstart. Dark Blade Agent will more often than not have Death Touch and draw you cards given the amount of Surveil in this deck. Midnight Reaper draws you cards if you start losing creatures, hopefully getting you into your answers. Whisper Agent because flash blockers with Surveil are awesome. Your opponents think it's safe to attack in and they get blocked, with the Surveil trigger happening first to possibly make things even more uncomfortable for your opponents. Our last 2 creatures make up the 4-drop slot. We have Muse Drake and Nightveil Predator. The Drake makes a nice flying blocker that draws you a card, and the Predator is a bomb that no opponent wants to see. A 3/3 flying Death Touch creature with hexproof. Unless they have a board wipe or a counterspell, it's gonna make their life difficult. This deck's mana was pretty simple. In one of my packs I opened a Watery Grave, so the rest was just 9 swamps and 7 islands. My partner's deck had some great Boros-y cards. For removal, he had Just a Strike to make your creature fight itself. Great for those big beasts we faced. Cosmotronic Wave to kill a token board and prevent your opponents from blocking for a turn. Creatures were really where this deck shined. Healer's Hawk for a flyer and the added lifelink. Sky Knight Legionnaire for even more flyers, and this time with haste. Truefire Captain and Wojak Bodyguard for Mentor. The Captain having the added ability of dealing damage to target player when it's dealt damage. And Barging Sergeant for more Mentor. Well, that does it for today. What did you think of the deck? How was your pre-release? Let me know in the comments. And I have to give a shout out to Waypoint Games and Cafe for hosting this event and letting me film. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You'll be helping the channel. You can also help yourself by hitting the notification bell so you know the second we release a new video. If you want to help in other ways, you can check out our Patreon, like these fine folks. Link is in the description. As always, you can find me on Twitter @KitchenTableCommand and on Instagram @KitchenTableCommander. It's been a blast, and I'll see you in the next video.